If you could tell me later the name of the chick.
I'll try and remember. Hello and welcome everyone, back to the Dumbass class with me, the Dyslexic Gamer, as we carry on our tabletop RPG series of Warhammer Fantasies 2nd edition, Mordheim, City of the Damned, the City of Nuln. In the last episode, one of our devout followers went to the Gardens of Moor. No. One of our devout followers of the Warband went to go see Humperdinck, and some hilarity.
And immediately regretted her decision.
Hilarity ensued, and things were well. Whereas the rest of the Warband,
I still have to break it to not Aurelia, the other one,
Livia.
that she can't set up plant potted
no, she can.
plants on Humperdinck's dick.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh yes. I forgot. Yes, that's quite right.
Everyone else heard that, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember that now.
Hey, if you're gonna give me that gag, I'm gonna run with it.
Yeah, no, I actually completely forgot that for a moment. But yes, he did mishear you and thought that you said something else. That is all canon. You are quite right. But whilst you were being a good warband member and informing your employer of your activities, what you had done with your time, the rest of the warband went to a brothel and spent a lot of money. And well, I guess you did get some information. It wasn't all fun and sweaty bodies. They got some information about the local area and have decided as a group to enjoy their time. They haven't been in Nuln that long. They have more than enough gold to spend in a brothel and to see themselves through for a good number of weeks, if they so wished. So why not relax and enjoy some of the pleasures that Nuln has to offer? A few hours go past and wine and ales are drunk. I should imagine tobacco and perhaps maybe even some lullabutton weed is smoked. And the group enjoy themselves, all but one, who returns to the tavern and has a meal and takes time to reflect upon the knowledge that she has learnt. A few hours go by. It's about 9-10 o'clock now, maybe a little bit later, as you all kind of emerge from your rooms or your corners or wherever you enjoyed your fun. You'd see that they're pretty much in full swing at the moment. There are a lot of people in the Dragon enjoying their services, but they seem to be more smaller groups. Individuals have gone off now. It seems as if the mass drinking has kind of begun to slow and now's more of a private time. But for all of you who spend the evening in the Dragon, you can now add onto your character sheets that you are a patron of the Dragon. This will come with some benefits. They know you there now, so if you do get mugged or attacked, you can shout if the bouncers are in eye shot, ears reach. As long as you're not getting chased down by like the law or knights in armor, they may assist you.
Does that apply to me?
Yes, this would apply to you, Casper.
I didn't exactly spend the night there.
Well, you did. A lady did come over to you, and you went and sat in a corner and enjoyed some company talking. Perhaps you didn't get to indulge in the pleasures of the flesh, but you did at least get to enjoy the pleasures of her mind and conversation, and gain some knowledge about the area as much as she knows it.
You did also run around and started throwing money at every single, lady of the night you saw.
I
So
didn't just run. I snuck. Is that Olivia talking to someone at the bar? Yeah, Da-da, da-da. Here's a gold.
Drop it in. Sha-na-na-na-na-na.
So it's quite late now. As you come out, you would probably not have much luck talking to any of the people who are in the dragon at the moment. They are clearly more there for private, sexy time at the moment. So you have some options. You can go back to the Three Crowns, call it a night, and carry on your investigation in the morning. Or you can walk about the streets and see if you can find anything.
What do you guys think?
Oh,
It's up to you, right? You
Ragnar
know,
would probably return for the night. 'Cause he's got
Um,
stuff he needs to do.
the thing is, Holly, what was the time you said?
It's about 10 o'clock.
Technically, this is a time where the brothels are probably still at full speed. We could go check out the area with the most amount of attacks.
I
Was
believe
near the loot area.
Madame Vilmor? Whatever the hell that is.
C20.
Yeah, C20. She was the one that was the place that had the. That was kind of the place that we were drawn to when we got the information, I believe.
She has been employing more gigolos in the area, and she also has one. She also has a girl who specializes in ladies. And I believe I mentioned that the prostitutes would have told you that most of the business done by the street prostitutes, like they might pick up a client on the main street, but then they go down into the back alleys and then they'll either have a house, a room, or they'll just fuck in a dark corner.
Whatever floats the boat. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to go for a walk around.
Yeah, I'm gonna go into that region.
I've got some things I need to do back at the inn. Just make sure you don't get mugged. Or worse.
I follow the group that will go for their investigation.
Okay. So I'll probably say that Livia returns. Will go back to the Three Crowns. Because then she can get the information about her plants and she can make preparations for that. So it is Casper, Aurelia, and Blackhand. You walk off and go and explore the area. Now, would you head in particular for C20 or Madame's place? Or would you just walk the streets in this area?
Our highest chance of actually finding something is basically looking around the moot region, the Vermilion. I forgot how to say C20.
Yeah. By all means, just use C20. It's the easiest one.
Yeah.
I think we will
I
go
should
for a
have
gander.
C20, C19, and C18.
What's C9? What's C18?
I was trying to make a battleship show.
Oh. I misheard, I'm sorry. I think we go through the alleyways towards C20, see what we can see.
Even if we don't even go into a brothel. Just walking around this area, I think, would be good for us.
Yeah.
Sure. So you say goodnight to the ladies there, and as you leave, the bouncers open the door for you, and give you a bouncer's farewell. Nothing much. As you leave, you head towards the down the main street, and you take the advice from the girls at the Dragon, and you head down corridor, the darker alleys. As you make your way down, you can hear the sounds of the prostitutes' business going on in nooks and corners, and by bin. They even have bins. I guess they would for just like compost
I mean,
rubbish.
it is known.
Yeah, they would have.
It is a bit
Rubbish
more
collectors.
cosmopolitan.
So, yeah, there would be bins around, and just detritus that's been stacked up, and old wooden, rotten, almost rotten through wooden boards, holding up around the buildings that provide just enough cover that you can't see the goodies, but you can see everything else. Yes, you do see many prostitutes working. You would probably note there are a couple of disagreements around. You'd hear a couple of clients shouting, a couple of girls not screaming, but definitely talking down to some of the clients and negotiating prices and so on and so forth. Aurelia, this is a very odd situation. I don't know if there's many prostitutes in the Elven in the forests. It's a very odd, and you imagine it quite dirty affair, because you're quite sure that prostitute there has got a line of men, and that can't be very, like...
I mean, I am 124 years old. I think I have seen some shit at this point, but the Forest of Ethelwarden are not as filthy as this place, so...
I mean, there's making love and there's men queuing up for sloppy apes. It's a very odd sight, and as you walk along, you kind of feel your body like clenching in on itself, your arms beginning to come closer to your body, and there's just a more careful placement of your steps as you make your way down, ensuring you step nowhere near any puddles, no matter how small. For the rest of the humans, this may not be the first big city that you've been in, so it's more mundane, and you just walk through the puddles and the water that you hope is on the floor. Please, everyone who is on the expedition into the dirty lands, roll me a 1d100.
Ah.
Oh joy! Please, for the love of Christ.
Son of
Don't worry, Casper. If shit happens, we're together.
Hey, again.
I see you still have your Underhive dice.
And one from Blackhand, please.
Oh, no, we don't have our Underhive dice.
Clearly you do.
At least I'm
Well,
one for this
well,
time.
Blackhead doesn't.
Okay.
I didn't roll a U100 yet, Yasina, so no, I don't.
Ooh.
To the brothels.
Ooh.
You'll
Of
get
Muller.
there eventually.
If you'd like to place yourselves at the north of the map. Onsu Makun, get the camera in shot. No, it's not difficult.
Is that the ghost chick again?
No, that's someone else.
No, she passed onto the into the next realm, whatever it may be.
I remember the ghost girl with clear. How do you say it again? Vividly. That's the word. I remember the ghost girl vividly.
So as you walk along the streets, you can see that there's a decent number of people about. You are close to C20. It's not far. You can tell by the directions you've been given. As you make your way further on down, You pass a couple of beggars who are on the streets who are calling out for alms for the poor. You for the moment just ignore and walk on past, trying to judge the area first. You don't really want to be splashing cash around if you're in the wrong neighbourhood. I cannot. We'll go with ambient for now. I can't even remember what this is. As you make your way further down, you can hear the sounds of women and men negotiating prices, and you pass a prostitute who is dressed in ladylike clothes, but you can tell that it's been a long time since they were washed or cleaned. The dirty water stains along the bottom of the dress being a clear indicator. But you make your way further to the crossroads. Here you can see more people coming and going, more men entering a certain building, and you see a couple of male prostitutes, gigolos, in the building. You don't see them out on the streets. These buildings that you're looking at now are actually 2 stories, and you're looking at the second story. First story, and then there's the ground floor, where is essentially a bar, much like the Dragon. You can see women at the top windows kind of waving men in, and you can see a couple of gigolos, and in the bar you can see a lot more, along with a large sign that says C20. That says whatever this horrible place is called.
Something French, but one. Sorry,
I'm
but
assaulting me.
Can you make me perception tests as you kind of look around the area? This will be flat. It is getting dark. Some of you have got night vision, some of you haven't. There are some lights, and there are some buildings giving off light. So we're just going to go with flat.
I think we all do, actually, no.
Yep, I don't see anything.
Wow.
I hate the fact that I would have passed.
Dice. Yep. I think the dice follow this.
So you spend a bit of time just looking around and watching the trade and watching the people. The 2 men here, you don't really get much attention in this area. However, Aurelia, many of the gigolos, the male prostitutes downstairs in the bar, do try and catch your eye and do try and come hither you into the bar. Whether you go in or not is entirely up to you. But you don't see anyone suspicious on the streets at this time. You don't see any noble women walking up and down. You don't see any men prowling the streets and looking for targets. Is that a ship? Oh, for fuck's sake! Did I really put on? Yes, it's the sounds of a ship in Nullen.
I was wondering what that bell was.
Yeah, no, I've just looked at it says ambient, but it's actually the age of sails and docks. It's like, okay, yeah, that's not really ambient. Yes. Let's go for blacksmith. Well, no, blacksmith doesn't really work. I hate you, Roll20. You have destroyed my... I used to have all these chants and all these cool things, and now, no. I guess I want to save that. We're just going to go with anytime music and hope it's good.
The Pyre by Kevin MacLeod. Okay.
I shall sit in silence. You can all have music on. I will accept this. So
Speaking of which, double check the stream.
Yeah, just to make sure we're not silent again.
Shh, that never happened.
No, it's all good. It's all fine.
Ooh.
And yes, I did check. So what would you like to do? Do you want to continue just looking around this area, or do you want to enter the brothel, basically?
Brenda wants to give one more look around because this is the place. There's nothing she can see out of place. There should be something out of place in here.
Okay, so you can essentially. Normally, I say a skill test is around an hour to do. I'll probably say this is like half an hour. You're walking as well. So if you give me another one, flat, and we'll see what
I
you
change
see.
dice colors.
Yes. All of us, or no?
Yep, all of you.
It's the fucking same roll.
Oh, nothing, please. Hey!
Hey! Oppa! I see what you needed.
Oh!
Okay.
That's
boy.
why Ido hates me so.
Oh, thank you, Duffles.
So with 4 degrees, 5 degrees of
The best
success.
one I think is me.
5 degrees of success. This isn't a negative. I'm not going to take your negatives into account for this. Just your degrees will count for what you see. With 5 degrees, you combined, as you take half an hour just watching the roads and watching the people come and go. You do all see someone who looks a little bit suspicious. As she enters the street, can't find her token. Anyway, as she enters the street, you can tell that this lady is walking with a refined gait. The way that she steps, the way that she moves, much like Aurelia. Yes, walking down the street, avoiding the puddles and going for the cleanest parts of the cobbled path. This lady appears out of place. Yet she's wrapped herself in a cloak, which is it's probably of like merchant standard. It's not common clothing. It's got a little bit of finery there, but only a little bit. And it does appear to be clean. And as you kind of like jab each other in the ribs, kind of to point her out, and you all begin to. She doesn't seem like normal civilian. Just the way that she moves, the way that she holds herself, and she definitely appears to be someone of a higher class.
Is this woman?
No, I haven't put her down yet because I can't find a token. So I'm looking to see if I can.
Okay. Because I'm looking around. Where is this woman? Anyway, Rollo will point her out along with Casper discreetly, and I think Rollo would whisper to the others. That woman looks entirely out of place. She's probably someone we should keep an eye on and probably follow around.
Well, she does appear, as you said, out of place. I'm not exactly one for following, so maybe I should leave that up to you.
Rollo will just.
Well, talking is more my specialty.
I mean, I will try to follow her, but the biggest thing is if she's not here to target someone, she will most likely, and she might end up being the target of whoever it is we're after.
That's what I'm thinking. Oh,
I couldn't find her token, so I'm just going to make this one. So yes, she appears much finer than what I described. I had her token somewhere. I don't know where it went. But as you watch her and you observe her, she makes her way down the street, and she does stand on the corner and gazes into C20, Madame, whatever we want to call it. And she spends at least a few moments walking up and then walking back and checking out the men there. Can you all give me perception tests again? We're going to call this flat again, I think. Because you are basically taking time to watch her movements and to watch her.
Indeed.
Yes.
Come on, Aldi. Making a triple threat.
I didn't understand the thing I needed to.
Perception.
Flat. Hey, at least it's not the exact roll.
Yeah, this is
Not the same roll.
So
You're getting closer.
as you stand and you watch her movements and you watch her looking through the windows and kind of debating almost to herself, do I go in, don't I go in, do I maybe I shouldn't be here, maybe he will. She kind of baffs a bit and doesn't really know, and then she kind of walks off a little bit. And then Casper, you would notice an individual down the street, much further down, but you don't really get much else. You see him as he walks across and appears to disappear off. However, Aurelia, you see his jacket. It's still just the bottom part of the material, just flaps at the side of the building, and you can just as a perhaps a night watch or a sewer jack comes out, you can see from faint torchlight just make out a shadow that leans against the wall. The individual you saw was in fairly nice clothing. He had a particularly nice jacket on and trousers, although it seemed a little finer than what you'd expect to see. Maybe again a merchant, that kind of person who has got some money, enough to be able to afford more than just the basic necessities, but definitely not of nobility. But a key thing that you noticed was, as he walked past, his eyes were not transfixed on where he was going. As he made his way along the path of the road, you saw him look and stare at the woman, and then here behind the building.
It's going to narrow her eyes.
A few moments later, you see the individual reappear only slightly around the corner and begin to gaze up and down the street.
I was gonna narrow her eyes.
I'm gonna move a little out of sight.
Yeah, and she's gonna. She's gonna move down. And she's gonna start talking to this prostitute over here. But it's very stupid small talk, and she's not paying attention to the prostitute. She's looking straight on at the girl and the guy. Basically, she's watching them and using the prostitute as cover.
Okay.
And
Can you make for me either a
Really-
concealed movement, or you need to make me a test that conceals what you're doing, basically.
you really think, I'm thinking about giving this prostitute one gold crown to basically just look at me and talk to me and just smile and talk. Would that help me, or do you want me? Actually, let me just roll concealment first. Hey,
I need me some stealth skills.
So, to the defender, no, in a tie, the defender wins, right?
I believe so.
Oh wait, no, never mind. So, Aurelia, you give the girl a gold coin, and she cuddles into you, starts talking to you, like whispering into your ear, and you whisper back, just play along. Okay? She's got her gold coin, so she does what you say. She lifts her leg up, trying to assist you in whatever you're doing, but still making it look like she's doing her job. You watch the girl, the woman of note, and then you look along at the man. He stares at you. He gives you a wink and a smile for tipping his hat and walking away.
A little bit too forward.
And he makes his way down the street. You can follow him if you wish. It's entirely up to you. But you would, as a hunter, I will give you that your prey may have noticed your actions and decided better to... someone may have noticed, let's be very cautious about this. In terms of hunting, you would imagine this is a prey that's very cautious and doesn't need to strike right now, and take the time to wait for the right moment to strike.
Thing is, Raleigh will thank this prostitute, give her a kiss on the cheek, and she's gonna call over the other two. And she'll start moving along down the south road.
Okay, so
And
you want to call the other two over, and then you want to follow
Yeah.
the individual.
Thing is, I'm probably going to be doing something rash. So I'm gonna, without looking back, I'm gonna tell Casper and Blackhand, we should probably snatch that guy. He made me. Before walking past, this lady, she's going to stop, look at her, and say, "Excuse me, my dear, but you should go home. Your husband is waiting for you." He's going to smile and keep moving.
Her eyes go wide as you see the woman. You say that to her. Her eyes go wide, and she walks off. She walks off through, making her way past Casper, and then leaving the street altogether. Clearly, she didn't appreciate someone pointing out that maybe she was a lady.
The thing is,
Nobility.
I'd rather have her spooked and heading home to be safe rather than hanging around and maybe getting snatched later.
Heading home to a loveless marriage. So you say to the girl, you call the others along. Now this takes time. The individual has moved off. He didn't run off. He walked off casually. However, as you turn around to look back at him, you do see him look over his shoulder and then carry on walking. He is already, by the time Blackhand and Casper come down and you say to the woman, he's probably moved at least half a building. So he's cleared the 5 minutes. It's still in minutes, isn't it? God damn it. He's past the 5 minutes, 5 squares that are in between each building, and he's made it another half a building away before you see him look back and try and look at you.
Aurelia is still going to be walking, but she's going to be walking at a fast pace. And if she sees that he's going to try to book it and run, she's going to run after him.
Okay.
She's gonna tell the Casper, follow my lead and don't lag behind, please.
Oh god.
And
Okay.
she's gonna start going.
Okay, so
Aren't I
are you
faster
going
than
to
you?
Are you going to try and conceal your movements, or move silently, or anything like that, or are you just trying to move quickly?
Thing is,
to look normally, but moving quickly, like with a large gait.
Thing is, Aurelia has already been made. She knows that guy knows she's watching, so she doesn't care about being hidden anymore. She's gonna just move fast and not lose sight of him.
Oh
Okay.
god.
So,
I'll try and conceal myself, or was it concealment or silent move? I'm not trained in either, so.
you can go with either if you want to conceal yourself in the crowd, or if you oh Jesus, you can try and blend in with the crowd as you move, like going from prostitute to prostitute. You know, how much are you? Oh, you're too much. Going, or you can just silently try and get behind Aurelia as she moves quickly and just try and stay in her shadow. Because it's only him who people are going to look at you like, what the fuck are you doing? But it's only him that you're trying to hide your presence from. If you
Yeah. They're concealment. They're both the same. Screw it. No bonuses?
no bonuses. If you no bonuses.
Okay.
I presume it's silent move.
Or concealment. It's your pick.
Oh!
Yeah, no, I won't throw.
Casper tries to be, hidden, ends up kneeing a prostitute by accident.
So, right. Let me just
This is going well.
see what roles I need to do here. So, as he gets to the crossroads, as he comes to another crossroads, Aurelia, you see him spin round on his boot heel. He spins round, looks at you, sees you, sees Casper looking at you, trying to go from one prostitute, but Casper's at a prostitute, but looking at you as you're walking quickly. He also sees Blackhand. I'll give you the rolls here. Firstly, he rolled a 5 on his perception check when he saw Aurelia checking him out. Then he failed massively, where he didn't really see any of you, and then he's just got another 4. So he sees all 3 of you. He's made all 3 of you out, and he runs. He takes off down the left-hand
I presume.
alleyway.
Okay, I'm going full sprint.
Yeah, Aurelia's going for a sprint too.
I'm pretty damn sure we can outpace him because I have 6 movement, you have 5.
Yeah, I have 5.
Yeah.
I have 9 run.
Okay,
We're gonna lose Blackhand somewhere in the city.
Oh.
I'm just
What
trying to
happened to
figure out.
this-
So you guys have basically moved down to here. Casper would have got to here where the prostitute kind of walked down, and then another, Casper's grabbed her. Blackhand moved further down as well. That's when he's turned round and seen you. So he is at least 17 minutes. God damn it. He's 17 squares ahead of you as he starts to run down a left-hand side. So he's completely out of vision now.
Whatever happened to the fastest dwarf in the West?
I runs eating.
So you
He's not
run 8. So you run 18. The both. So who's got the highest run?
I run 15 and Casper runs 18.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So from there, you go. You go to there. So he then got around the corner. You then spend another turn. So Casper, you get round the corner. Irelia, you get round the corner. Blackhand, you're not round the corner yet. Sorry. Can you two give me perception tests? There is a -20 to your perception test.
Oh, come on, another -20. I'm at -40 with my penalties.
Oh.
Oh, good. Casper got this.
So as you look down this alleyway, you can see prostitutes and people here, there, and you're looking, but you can't see the individual. You just can't make him out, Aurelia. He's disappeared. Casper, you see someone shout out, "Oi! Oi, you bastard! My cape!" As you see someone chuck a cape over their clothing and disappear off into the crowd. You have enough view that you can run again and try and see where he went. But you imagine you've seen him put on someone else's cloak, so he's no longer looks exactly the same.
Let's do it.
Okay, so you and I imagine you cry out to Aurelia that he's put on someone's cape. This way. You take off. Blackhand, you can hear the cry that he's put on a cape. He's down this way. You heave with all your dwarven might. Down these short dwarven legs. You get round the corner and you can see Aurelia and Casper running off down, and you just keep up with them. You just try to catch them. So another full round of movement has gone on. He doesn't exactly know that you guys are following, so he would need. But would you not? Well, he did succeed, so he would think, yeah. So he would check.
I mean, logically speaking, he would expect an elf to keep up with him, but not a human.
True. This is also true. He hasn't actually done a perception check whilst all of you were running. Only Aurelia did he see actually starting to move quickly. So he doesn't know how quickly you move, basically. He takes off and disappears into the crowd. You guys take off. You think you know where he's gone. You run with all your speed. Aurelia, you are further behind now. Can you give me another perception check, you two, with only a minus... No. Aurelia, you're at -10. Casper, you're at flat because you know a bit more about the cloak. Whereas Aurelia, you're looking at everyone with a cloak.
Okay. Would technically a fall tree will be better in this case for me? Just
Following trails at the moment would be very difficult because 1, you lost sight of him. 2, there's a lot of foot traffic going up and down already. And this, I may not have explained it very well. There are just as many people up and down this street as the last one. There are girls selling themselves, basically, and men and some women looking for pleasure. So Aurelia, you kind of puffing a bit. You stop and look round, and just there are a lot of people who are concealing themselves. Most people don't want to be seen in this area. Well, I mean, could it be that guy? And no, and Casper, you run forwards. You don't even look for the cloaks. You look for an individual breathing heavily. Someone who's clearly panting, who's clearly just exerted themselves. You scan the crowd. There he is. You can see him just 10 squares ahead of you. He's in with another group. And it appears as if he hasn't seen you.
Okay.
Tackle the bitch.
Yeah, why not? Oh, hey, unit.
So
Hello, unit.
you see,
I'm going to call out just before I hit him, like just before like go for the knees and whatever. Then I'm going to yell out, oh, what do you call it? Coin snatcher or whatever. What? Pickpocket.
Purse snatcher.
Purse snatcher.
Horse cutter.
Purse cutter. That's even
Okay.
better. Yeah.
Just the combination of the above.
let
No,
me think
I can
here.
already
So
see us.
he's, because I've got to think of it from his point of view. So he thinks he's blended in. He thinks he's, and then he hears someone charge, and then a quick purse cutter. I think he would get the chance to dodge the blow, but he'd get a chance to dodge. I'm probably going to say a -10 to it.
Willpower to not to
'Cause he-
immediately bolt.
He didn't. He succeeds. He didn't see you, but on a 31, he rolled a 22. I'll now change the rolls because you all know who he is. As you dive for him, Casper, he just quickly jumps to the side as you land on the floor next to him in shock, looks up, sees you all. Aurelia, you've seen him. He looks up, looks down at Casper, looks up and sees you. Blackhand, you can see him. He's now in view of you. He attempts to run for it again.
Can I do something even more drastic?
How far is he?
He's about.
Do
So
not use your
you've moved
blunderbuss.
in this. He's probably about 10
I don't
squares
have a
from you
blunderbuss.
now.
Fuck the collateral damage.
There are a lot
No.
of citizens and people on the
Sorry,
street.
you were overpowered. What did you say?
There are a lot of citizens on the street. He's about 10 squares away from you now.
Do
Are there
not,
citizens between me and him?
do not fire the blunderbuss.
Fire the blunderbuss.
There are
There-
children in the street. God
So
damn
he
it.
was in a crowd.
Since
He-
when do you care about children?
I care about me being the one killing them, not, someone else.
The
Is
best
he
part
within-
is you've gone
he
on
was in a
night out to
crowd.
the brothel.
Is he within 12
Blunderbuss.
meters of me?
He's right next to you. Like, if Blackhand
Yes.
fires, he will hit you. Like, you've landed next to him. There are people who have been, he was walking in a crowd. So they've all been pushed out of the way and are all moving in and around. And what's going on? Why is he scattering, basically. So trying to shoot a blunderbuss at the moment, you will more than likely hit normal civilians. Not just one.
Do it.
I have a question.
Do it.
How far away from me is he?
If you
If I
carried on
wanna throw
moving,
my axe at him.
if you carried on moving, Aurelia, then you are exactly like 7 squares away. If you were moving whilst Casper was walking, was trying to charge him.
Here's the thing. I want to draw my pistol, and shout "stop!" And if he does not stop, I want to shoot the bastard in the legs.
Stop right there, you criminal scum.
And the thing
You
is, I have a
violated the
pistol,
law.
and I'm very good with ranged weapons.
Okay, so
It's a case of, if he's going
He's-
to run, I'm going to wait for him to get 4 meters, then I'm going to charge.
And
So,
although I don't like using the pistol, it is faster to draw a pistol than to take out my bow and knock an arrow.
what would he do? So in his action, he that might no, because he's hitting himself. That wouldn't. So people are looking at him. Prostitutes and clients are all looking at him. and looking at you guys because you've caused this commotion. Black Hand's drawn his knife, drawn his axe. Aurelia's drawn a gun. The people around are kind of panicking and moving. Spur of the moment, he holds his hands up. Hang on. Would he though?
He
Would he, though?
cracks his cyanide tooth.
Well,
This isn't James Bond.
Not
yeah,
yet.
he holds his
to be.
he holds his hands up, stepping backwards, and I don't know what you guys are after, but I've done nothing wrong. I was just out
Whose
for a
club
little.
is that?
Oh, he's really
Well,
done nothing wrong.
you can't blame
I
me.
want to.
I was out for a little
wanna get-
stroll, and all of a sudden, I have some miscreants chasing me down. I mean, who are you all gonna believe, really? I mean, at the end of the day, these people are chasing me. I have done nothing wrong. Ask anyone. He uses
really
blather
could've-
on the crowd. Is it blather? No, it would
Yeah, it is
be.
blather.
I
No, he.
think
I
it is
approach him
never.
and I will knock him out.
Really, the thing is, I don't know who. I think I'm probably faster. I want to get close to him, put my gun to his head, and say, "Yes, keep talking. Keep telling these people lies. Let's see how far. Let's see who's faster, me or them trying to save your."
Yeah,
Sure.
Bladder, use the skill
Oh,
to stall for
no.
time.
So he blathers to the crowd, and stalling for time, you see that the crowd apparently some of members are going, who are these individuals? You know, you don't look like the guardsmen.
Important note, Blabber never makes sense. It only seeks to confuse.
Yes, and that's what he's trying to do, to
Yeah,
confuse
he's
the
confusing
crowd.
Okay.
Because technically, you guys haven't caught him doing shit. You saw him looking at a girl, and then you chased after him. So the only thing he did wrong was technically taking that person's cloak. So he blathers to the crowd, and some of the members of the crowd turn to you all and point to you all. Yes, what's this man done? You're not guards drawing weapons at individuals. That's in fact we should call the guards. And at this, he will shout to the crowd that I don't need the guards. If you all good people, they won't hurt me. We're one people. We're Nulliners. We don't bow down to other races. And he points at the other two races.
Racism!
Now,
Raleigh is going
does
to
this
take a-
work? The 1d100.
High
Oh,
impact
it doesn't.
racism.
The crowd rolls a 94. You can hear the voices of halflings and dwarves from within the crowd, and even some from within the brothels themselves. Or, hey, what's that about races? Hey,
You're
what
technically
do you
in
think
the-
you're doing? What, you're right, it's a little moot. Do you not think we'll all be round here as well?
Really
He's
just
trying
going
his
to
backside.
smile as you
I
approach him
just
again.
knock him out.
Do not do that in the public. We're slowly getting them to our side. If we just start a fight now, it's not going to be good. And it's not going to be good for Humperdinck's image if we get arrested and they find the crest on you.
Oh,
That is a good point.
that is indeed a very good
Alright,
point.
I want to smack him.
Because don't forget,
Yet.
it's not just our image, it's Humpernickle's.
Rose just going to smile. So you're insulting all the races that coexist peacefully here in the mood. You are filthy and a liar.
You hear from the back of the crowd someone shout out to take this to the guards. People trying to work here and enjoy themselves, and there's kind of a cry from the crowd that you're kind of killing the mood. The individual begins to visibly sweat as he can see that the crowd are now turning against him.
I will call out. Yes, do. Call for the guards. If there is truly an issue here, he won't mind at all. After all, I just saw him steal a cloak. That's why I'm chasing him. I don't like cut purse cutters.
Cloak cutters. Dirty, dirty cloak thieves.
Damn, stealing all them damn cloaks.
The cloak thieves are getting more brazen every day.
In his position, I mean, normally you don't really want to give up. He is. Problem is, you guys are so close. Is there? No, he will give up. He will. Fine then. Fine. I will take this to the guards. I have nothing to hide. How about you? Why are you doing this, huh?
I just told you. I saw you steal a cloak.
Self-defense. I was trying to disguise myself to hide from my pursuers.
Who's pursuing you?
He looks at the
I
elf.
don't know.
She was.
I'm just gonna point my gun out. I'm just a concerned citizen of Nolan.
She is a concerned citizen of Nolan.
So he kind of gestures to the crowd. Fine, let us go to the guards post. And he pushes his way through the crowd that has begun to gather and the onlookers who are just, a bit bored, and decided to have a look at what was going on.
Aurelia would not allow him to get too far from her. Even if she's not gonna put hands on him, but she's gonna be very close to him.
I follow him 1 tile behind.
It's gonna be difficult for you to keep up anyway.
And Aurelia will holster the pistol, but she will have her hand on the pistol the entire time in the holster.
Okay.
Is Livia
so
present?
Livia is not present. She's at the bar at the moment. She is actually with before I get the bloody name wrong, it's with Carla
Oh, all right. At the bar?
at the Three Crowns.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and Ragnar as well. You and Ragnar went back
okay.
to conduct some studies, some research, other bits. Whereas the rest of the group went off to look for more shenanigans. The individual
Also
follows along. He doesn't attempt to run anymore, but he does stay in front of the group, or he tries to put himself in front of the group.
I will probably stay to his side. Probably like 1 or 2, 3 or 4 people to the side.
Sure. Okay. I am going to hide his rolls again.
Okay.
Oh, motherfucker. Okay. So, as he's walking along, there's some things happen. There's a fight going on, and your group kind of has to stop and wait for the crowd to disperse. And you can clearly see him, all of you can see him, in the reflection of a piece of glass, reach into his pocket and take out something in his hand. He then begins playing with it in his hand, looking around as if he's looking at the fight, but still moulding something in his hand.
I grab him.
You grab hold of him.
No, I grab him. I make sure he can't do anything.
Okay, so you grapple him.
Like in his arms and stuff.
So he would get a perception test to see you moving towards him and trying to grapple him. He gets a 5 again. I'm rolling a lot of 5. He rolled a natural 100, by the way, on his sleight of hand that I just rolled for him. He got a natural 100. So that's why you all saw him in a piece of glass, the reflection.
At least no one else looked at the piece of glass and saw I wasn't there.
Very true. Very true. As Blackhand walks up towards him and goes to grab him, he moves out of the way, and he will do a. Can the three of you give me perception checks with a +10 to it?
Ooh. Okay.
If you succeed, you see that he tries to put something back into his pocket as Blackhand tries to grab him, and he moves out of the way. Don't you touch me, dwarf! You have no right to grab me. I am innocent.
What did you pull out of your pocket?
I'm sorry, flat perception or
+10.
+10.
It's nothing to do with you.
oh?
It may have been my watch. It may have been a few coins.
Well, then show it up front.
Empty your pockets. Everything.
Did I
Every
get a glimpse of
coin.
it?
Every possession that you have. And I shall do the same.
Really's
Empty
gonna
your
look at him.
pockets, pulls out a knife, sticks it in his chest. Pocket empty.
Don't
Really's
play
gonna
riddles with me, Gollum.
Raleigh going to look at the guy and make a show to show him that she is about to pull the gun out of the holster and say, "You should
I'm the one with
probably-
the axe to your face.
Don't pull out the axe.
Don't
Stop
pull out the
threatening
axe.
him in the streets.
You should probably be more respectful to the other races."
Did I see
Thief.
anything this?
Yes, as he goes, as Blackhand grabs him. So Blackhand and Aurelia don't see him put the item back in his pocket, but Casper does see him place it in a different pocket than the one that he drew it out from. There's like a little side pocket on his jacket where the material is kind of layered. It appears as if he has a couple of secret little pockets. He plopped this thing in and then turned around, called Blackhand, told the dwarf to get away from him. Okay, so he just do you empty your pockets, Blackhand, of everything that you have?
I drop the dagger below the axe and say, "No." Hold it to his neck and say, "No, my pockets are empty. Empty yours."
You can try to hold it to his neck, but remember you are shorter than him, so that does mean you have to get close to him.
I mean,
you have to get close right up next to him. Try it.
approach
dwarf.
this from another angle. You're currently holding your
Oh, no,
axe to his
no.
dick.
The shade
Casper is.
I hold the axe ready to throw into his crotch.
Casper's going to approach this a little bit differently. Simply turn to him and say, "Okay, how about this? Pick a pocket. I will show you what's in it, and I will do the same. Deal?"
He looks at you with suspicion, but he's a gambling man. He'll go for it. So he doesn't know. I mean, to be fair, So I would. I was kind of past that. He's already been talking to Blackhand, so his attention would have been fully taken away. So he wouldn't have had time to notice that you saw the pocket. So yeah, he's a gambling man. He likes his chances very well. He is going to use perception on you. In fact, I'll make these rolls because he's not doing these rolls in secret. He does perception on you. He succeeds. Ooh. He picks the pocket with your coin purse in it.
Okay. I will pull out my coin purse. And
I keep close watch on his hands.
pull out the coin purse, show it to him. Not let him touch it, just hold it in my hand in front of him, and then slide it back into the pocket.
Very well. He gestures, but almost raising an arm more for his the pockets that are easily visible.
I make a show of trying to point at the initial pocket before switching to the white pop before he put it into.
There's a upset look on his face as he opens and pulls out a piece of modelling clay.
Okay.
What now?
Modelling clay.
You pull out modeling clay.
You like to play with clay when you're nervous?
Is there a problem with having certain habits? I didn't
Yes.
realise that was an offence, that someone should put a knife and then an axe to their neck. Dwarf.
Excuse the dwarf. He's a bit of a brute.
So I wonder what charge comes with threatening one's life. Especially someone who is but petty thievery. I would happily pay for that person to have another cape. Whereas you, dwarf, have put a blade to my neck. And threatened
you
me.
are a
Which
potential
one do you think the
risk.
guards will be most interested in?
I kind of have to agree with him. You're going a little bit crazy with the axe and the dagger.
And he gestures to
Weird.
those who have followed. And a few people have followed.
I do have a question. Can I look at the modeling clay? Does it seem like there's something inside the modeling clay, or?
You can see the
It's
modelling
his
clay. He
cyanide
holds it out
clay,
for you. It's modelling clay that he's flattened. He's just played with some modelling clay.
It's a detonator.
It's
It's a C4.
out of character. I love how you're playing without paranoia.
Oh yeah.
God damn it. Relly's just gonna narrow her eyes, look at him, say, "Why don't you keep moving, thief?"
As
Yeah.
as this goes on, the crowd besides it, you can hear the cheers of someone winning the fight, and the crowd disperses, and there's one individual surrounded by a few friends who's on the floor as they're laughing about him getting knocked out. You make your way, and you head towards the guards post, which is outside this area. You head there, and there is a watch guard standing at the post, and one inside of the office area.
I do have to ask, how many people are following us? Is it a crowd? A
Four.
big crowd, or is it?
4.
Just 4.
Yep, just 4.
I'm wondering, would they be willing to, go have a drink and, just let us take care of this?
You
Oh,
just
for
came
God's
back
sake.
from a bender. You already want to
No,
embark
the-
on
the-
another?
Technically, no, I realize I'm gonna say that. That's far too suspicious, and if one of the deals was, a noble, so that would probably be
Yeah,
bad.
it just seems like you're trying to pay off the.
Oh, the dude has ventriloquism, motherfucker.
Oh.
You don't hear what he says, but he says something. You, in fact, give me a perception check. There'd at least be a -10 to it.
Sure.
Ah, no. Only new people.
So,
Ooh.
Casper and Blackhand both hear from within the crowd behind. You all saw them threaten me. This is an outrage. I've done nothing wrong.
Just keep moving.
I'm sorry.
May I ask who said that to step forward?
He looks at you, and by the way, when he did this, he did raise a hand to his mouth and start scratching his face. I probably should have said that before. I thought he was going to fail, where I was going to then go, oh, as he tries to do this, you just hear him say into his hand. He looks over at you, Casper, before Aurelia and Blackhand both look at him. The guard steps forwards. What is all this nonsense about? Can you rabble not keep it down? They have threatened me. This dwarf put an axe to my throat. This elf chased me through the streets.
Threatened us.
I did no such thing. I only
Yes,
fled
you
for my
did.
own safety. I merely wished to visit a lady of the night. And these plebeians, these other races, decided to attack me. So I fled, guardsman, and I admit to my crime of stealing a cloak. I apologise deeply for it, but I had to disguise myself from these ruffians. And what charges do you bring me here on? And he gestures to you three.
Really just great to smile, look at him. I mean, there have been several women disappearing in that region lately. And
Oh,
as a
no.
concerned citizen, I just saw you steal a cloak and I thought you were suspicious.
He... Ha! Guardsman,
Could have
this is
been a
not...
knife you pulled out of your pocket.
This is not a matter for you to waste your time on. I mean, how can you expect to be looking at all these... Look at what these other races are trying... God damn it, he uses his one point of fate. I saved this point. All the fails he had, I saved it. Good.
Ooh, right. Okay, I think I got
It's
it.
your time that they are wasting here. It's your time and mine. These other races, they don't know how we act and how we do things. I was
My
merely
friend,
acting
do you
suspiciously.
dare call me something lower than my birth?
Pardon?
Do you dare call me something lower than I am?
Blackhand gets a meaningful glint in his eye.
And of what birth are you then?
Well, you tended to imply that I am of nothing, of scum, of nothing else.
Well, guardsman, look, he's hanging round with these other races. What did the rest of your people just forsake you? Is that why you must lower yourself to hang with these individuals? I will add, the closest guards post would be on the main street, close to the dragon. So you're in that courtyard area of the map. In fact, we will go back over to the map because we don't need this one for now. Combat was not
Sweet.
on that map.
Oh, give me 1 second.
So you're currently at C7.
Smack dab in here. Okay.
Okay.
It's time to pull out the book.
So
Steph going in the book.
I'm going to hit him with a book. So
Good
whereabouts are we?
start.
C7. So you're right next to the double dragon. To the dragon.
Perfect.
I think Double Dragon is
Is
something
the
else in
Chinese.
town.
Double dragon is the Chinese in most towns in England. The double dragon, the red dragon, something dragon.
I mean, Double Dragon is also a game and a movie.
Yeah.
And the TVs as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Anyway, really just good to smile, look at Casper. What about you, my concerned friend?
Well, this man dares to insult myself and my two compatriots when we were but simply out for a simple night. We spent the night inside the dragon. What do you call it? Is it just called
Yeah.
the dragon?
Yeah.
Yeah, the dragon. And went for a walk to cool off, you could say. Myself, I will not speak on behalf of my companions, for I do not know what they were getting up to. But during this walk, I did notice a man perform an act of theft. Maybe perhaps in my partially inebriated state, I thought I could help out.
The guardsman kind of he looks at all of you, and Casper, you can roll a charm check on the guard if you wish. He kind of looks at all of you and hears the two stories going, and this kind of sounds like it's not really an issue, unless you can bring us some reason why we should question this individual. You need to
may
pay.
ask him.
You do
because
need
he
to
was the one
pay
first
for
brought
the.
up.
He will pay for the stolen cloak, like he admitted.
Yeah.
But as long as he's willing to pay for that, and the individual comes to the guard's office to claim the cloak or the sum to replace the cloak, kind of over. Unless there's another reason.
No, sir, you mistake. It was his idea to bring the guards into this, and then tried to back out.
Riley's going to look at the crowd and say, "It was indeed the one that really wanted to come to the gods and trouble them, wasn't it?"
But the dwarf did threaten him with an axe. Yeah, we saw that.
Yeah, after he potentially tried to blow the knife on us.
My dwarven friend here, unlike the rest of his kin, can't handle his ale. I'm going to glare at Albie.
Oh, that goes in the book.
The guard looks.
Irela's gonna giggle to herself, but she's gonna say, "It isn't quite weird for him." But
The guard
he
looks
does
at
not-
your group and looks at the dwarf. Master Dwarf, threatening people with weapons is a crime. You can't just threaten every individual you come across, especially if you can't prove that he's done anything wrong.
He tried to pull a knife out of us. Potentially.
The man, I did no such thing. Bold lies coming from a dwarf trying to get some reward for some fanciful problem that he wishes to solve.
The reward, dipshit. I just want to say that if I see a man going to the guard, being quite unreasonably mad, also quite hostile, and going into his pockets, I think one thing. I don't have a dagger in my face, so I'll be careful.
Master Dwarf, the guard looks at you. I would imagine that this would be common sense, but you don't stand close enough to an individual to let them stab you in the face. Even if he did draw a knife, he may have just wished to clean a pipe, or these individuals here have said that you have placed a blade to a man's throat. If he wishes, that is an offence. But you have shown me nothing but a mere petty crime. Unless there's any other issues to be brought about here, I suggest all parties walk away. Sir, 5 silver should cover the cape, I believe. But of course, I apologise. It was merely to try and hide myself from my... I understand, sir, but a fine is a fine. Yes, he pulls out a purse and pays the silver, and then you see another silver go into the guard's hand, to make sure that there are no hard feelings for the citizen whose cape it was, and another one for your good sirs for doing such a stand-up job protecting us all.
I do think bribery is a crime.
There is nothing wrong with rewarding those who protect us, is there?
I'm going to put my hand on Albie's shoulder and just lightly tell him,
My dear short friend, there is nothing wrong with giving a donation to the god, is there? Irelia's going to smile. And then look at and then she's gonna stare daggers into the charlatan.
Cool. No, no, that's
I'll
fine.
look at the man and, well, now that everything is cleared up and sorted, I would like to
Also,
I would like to
Turtle,
apologize.
why did you start
Albie,
turning Magness over
Albie,
someone?
Albie, can you let Casper finish what he was saying before jumping in?
Sorry.
Okay.
I would like to apologize for the dwarf's behavior by offering you a drink here at the Dragon.
He looks at you and looks at the guard, and I believe I will turn in for tonight. I do not wish
Are
to
you sure,
cause
my
more
friend?
trouble, and the hour is already late. Time for my fun has clearly passed. I will have to hire a lady of the night some other time.
I'm sure my friends here could give you good recommendation.
Well, after running around town, I don't quite have the energy for it. Good day. He bows, or gives a slight bow towards the guard, and gives you lots of an upstart look, and gestures to the crowd. For you fine gentlemen, a drink, something to eat before I leave. You've come all this way. You should at least get something for your efforts. The four people kind of nod in agreement, and you see him go over to just a vendor and buy a piece of meat on a stick and an ale from a vendor from on the street before making his way off.
I'll call it, sod that, go into the Dragon, and I'll buy you all drinks.
The men there kind of look, and they've already got an ale and a piece of meat on a stick, so they kind of nod along and okay, file into the Dragon.
It really doesn't feel well letting this guy just leave.
I want
should play
to
along for now.
whisper to Aurelia. Do you think you can tail him?
Aurelia's
Yes
going
or
to
no?
smile. Possibly, so long as he doesn't make me again. If he does make me again, I will have to leave though.
Making him, if you get made this time, there's not going to be much chance of talking your way out of it.
True. I'll just back away if he makes me again.
I give her a nod and walk into the Dragon after the crowd.
Okay. So to cover the crowd in the bar will be 2 silver per person. So that's 8 silver altogether to buy them all a drink. And I'm not suggesting that you're buying them all a girl for the night. A drink and some bar food will cover.
Buy them a dance.
That's good. Yeah.
Aurelia, so did you guys walk over to the Dragon, and then called the guys over, and then you and Aurelia had your little talk?
Can I go to Bouncer and describe the guy and say that he's likely the one who nicks girls?
You can suggest that to the bouncer at the Dragon, because they've seen this going on. They've watched what's been happening, but they didn't really see any need to step in. They kind of nod along with you and like, oh, okay, got any proof? No? Okay, fair enough. That guy over there was thought to be the snatcher last night, They point out because you guys have no proof. You have literally just grabbed some random dude on the street, as far as you're aware, or you've just he was suspicious, so you grabbed him. So there's a bit of distance between you.
Decapitation.
We would have been fine too if it weren't for those pesky little citizens.
You've gone in with Inquisitor hats on and like, we shall take the citizen. It's like, well, no, I have rights. So fuck
We're
off.
the new witch hunters.
So
I would like to make a move to Albie and apologize for my comment about his drinking.
That won't get you out the book.
No, but I would like to offer him anything on the menu, and I'll pay for it.
I think Aurelia would have broken
I
off.
picked the most expensive dish. doesn't matter what it is, just the most expensive one.
What's the most expensive drink in the dragon?
It would probably be. It
A
would
prostitute.
probably be the, the drink
Called
wise. It
whiskey.
would probably be the. Well, it's not. The thing is, it's not a high class place. It wouldn't have Bretonian. Well, maybe they've got a glass of a bottle of Bretonian, which is like ancient. They've had it for ages. And it's actually a knockoff. So it's yeah. No, well, there's a dwarf around. They got dwarven drinks for him before, so the barman's like, well, we've got dwarven ale for him. That's probably the nicest drink that we've got in here, but he was spending so much, it was worth getting it. Which is probably 4 silver a pint, which is double the price of a normal pint of ale, I think, off the top of my head.
I think Aurelia would have broken off after she talked with Casper. and
Okay.
She would have tried to tell.
So you need to remember he is constantly moving, and there are people like
Yeah.
finishing, going about, going to bed. It's probably about 11 now, so it is getting pretty late for this day and age. So people are going off to bed.
You know,
Give me
Aurelia
a
actually. Sorry, go ahead.
give me a perception test. I'll give you a +10 as you're trying to keep a track of him as you're going over to the dragon, having your chat with Casper. You're watching him walk across the courtyard, and he is heading northwest.
Thing is, I'm actually glad that it's very late now, because the less light there is, the harder it should be for him to spot me. And I have dark vision, so
It is a town, so there are lights about, except from where
Ooh.
he's heading. And again, this is the side that has plumbing, so this is technically the nicer side. Well, until you get into the maze. So you watch him as you're talking to Casper, and you keep him in your line of sight as he walks across the courtyard, and he heads off. You agree for you to go and stalk him, and you begin to get moving. Now you're crossing the courtyard. He's already left the courtyard. Until you get past C41, it's going to be dark. It's going to be light. Once he gets past this area here, I imagine the lights start getting really, really skimpy once you start getting into the maze and Shantytown. But I'm still here. What? Everything's still going?
Yes.
I think Road 20 crashed this time.
Oh.
Yes, it did, because apparently I'm the only one in game.
Oh, yeah.
Same here. And on the stream, technically, some raccoon is the only one in the game.
Thank
After a refresh.
Sigmar that is happening to everyone. I thought that all my stuff just crashed. Everything just went. I was like, oh dear.
I don't see the map anymore.
You may need to refresh
the
your
map.
page.
You refresh the page.
There we go.
There it is.
It's all right. I got nervous.
Oh.
So, you're walking across the courtyard. You're walking across. There's a decent amount of distance. There's more people moving and going. Give me another perception test as you leave the courtyard. You are about here, and he is just passing. There will be another +10 for this.
Okay. Come on, Lady Isha and Muffle. Yes.
Okay, so you keep eyes on him as he makes his way into commercial way, commoner way, whatever it's called, over towards B7. he then going to do a few things as well. I will make these roles public for now. So I want him to do a perception test. Okay. So can you make me a because you did say you were going to hang back and you were going to stalk him. So can you make me a concealed move or a concealment or a silent move?
I will also try to stay in the darkness. So just what concealment?
Silent move or concealment.
Okay.
Okay, so as he looks back, he looks in the more well-lit areas and in the shadows, but he then walks forwards. He doesn't seem to have noticed you. As he carries on walking further into Shantytown, you keep up with him, moving in the shadows and staying concealed. He then goes into Cheap Street, and you see him turn off into Blind Alley. Can you give me another perception test with a plus 20 as you get onto Blind Alley?
Oh no.
So as you look down Blind Alley,
Oops, sorry. I'm going to use a fortune point because
Sure.
I still have 2 of those. Much
Hey.
okay, so as you turn into Blind Alley, you see the individual walk into a group of people. This is clearly a group of thugs or gangs, or he just walks straight through, straight past into a building that you don't really recognize. You're not sure. It's just a crappy, run-down shack of a building that's tilted on one side. You know it's down Blind Alley, and you know where that there was a gang there. They all look at you as you come round and you see the charlatan walk into this building behind them. They all look at you.
Did they see me even with my concealment?
Oh, you can't if you're trying to look down an alleyway and there's a group of people all sat there. Your concealment isn't.
Okay,
They've got numbers against you. Let's
Anything-
say there's like 12 or 13. Let's say 12 malnourished,
Right.
dirty gangsters.
Okay.
Gangsters is too much. Bums, ruffians. Yeah, ruffians is a good word.
And he's going inside the building?
Jam the pantaloons on.
Yes. Yes, there's no. This is a shanty town. There's not really anything to denote this building. You know it's down. There was enough of a. Well, technically, I don't even think there are signs in Shantytown because it's a shithole and most people don't read. But I'll give you that it's in Blind Alley, and the building is a 3-story building that is probably was built as a single-story shack at one point, and they've just added onto it. It's on a tilt where the foundations and the structure is just not sound, and the individual walks in. You've got round the corner long enough to see him walk into the building. Give me a perception check with a minus 30 as you're just staring at him into the darkness down this alley as you're trying to look for details as the door begins to swing shut.
Minus 30.
Yeah, this is to get really minute stuff as the door is closing. You know, this is.
Oh no, I don't get anything, unfortunately. If with the minus 20 to my perception already and another
It is
minus
meant to be
30,
a really difficult. Yeah. You know the building.
Yeah.
You could come back here. You know the direction here. On your own, you can try and get past all the ruffians, but there's nothing else you could see as the door shuts behind him.
Although Rally knows she probably could get past all of these, she's gonna, for now, just mark this place down on her memory, and she's gonna back off for now.
Sure. So as you back away and make your way back to the 3 Crowns, we come back and go back in time. So it's about 12 o'clock now, half 11, 12 o'clock, something like that. we're going to go back like 2 hours, about 2 hours, to where Carla has entered into the Three Crowns. She's probably sat at a little bar, at a little table somewhere in after speaking to Humperdinck, and Livia has just entered along with Ragnar.
I don't remember this. Have I mentioned to my brothers at the temple that I am a member of the warband, or
No, not as far as I'm
okay,
aware.
so,
But
something
it is,
I'm gonna have to do on the next pass.
it is fine for you to do that because they go out with war bands and armies all the time.
Yeah,
So would you tell Livia and Ragnar anything, or ask them how their
Oh.
evening is? They're rather flushed in cheek and kind of a bounce in their step. Maybe their hair's a little more ruffled up than usual.
You look like you. Did you go out on a bender?
Do you think we'd be back this early if we had?
Fair point, I suppose. Where's the rest?
Still investigating.
Livia, I spoke with Humperdinck about your plans.
Oh, that's great.
He said you can't put potted plants on his dick. He's fine with putting them on deck, though. He
She
might.
angles her head slightly.
He might have been in the stage of inebriation when I asked that.
In a stage? Dude was
She
fucked up.
angles her head slightly and narrows her eyes, and she's like, "Yeah, that's fine. I don't think that will be a problem."
That was more Humperdinck than I wanted to see, I'll be honest. You should have seen his ego inflate when they announced me as a member of his warband.
It's got to be careful, or that ego will get us into trouble.
Oh, I think we're way past that point. I mean, we did sign the contract.
I seem to be.
Actually reminds me of something.
Let's hope we don't live to regret it. Or rather, that we do live to regret it, I suppose.
Well, if any of you will fall, I will make sure that the proper rites are observed.
You know, the proper rites for one of my kind are slightly
Well,
different.
Well, I don't know the proper rites for dwarves or elves, but more welcomes all in his embrace. Like I'm still new. I'm still new to this. Okay, I'm still learning.
So long as you don't try and bring us back something unnatural like that.
That's against everything the cult of Moor stands for, because bringing back Zed is ripping the souls out of the Moor's realm. Yeah, that's we kill people for that.
Oh, well, good.
Livia nods approvingly. That sounds like a reasonable god.
Yes. Remember, as brother Hendrik says, fear not the undead, pity them, for they have been denied the kingdom of Moor.
so sad I'm not in that scene.
With information relayed, you will perhaps spend some time and chat and perhaps ask more questions about what plants Livia wanted to pot. A couple of hours of talk goes by or study in your private rooms before the rest of the group arrives, all but one. Oh, hang on, no, did you all go back to the dragon?
Yeah. I bought Albie 5 beers. I expect him to drink them.
I drank them all.
Let me see. So
really-
you had to go at least, over to here and then there, and then you were following, so you were moving slower, and then back. So, half an hour passed. I imagine,
Is it, the thingy was here in the blind alley?
yeah, blind alley, somewhere in there.
There was it.
Perfect.
Small mark. Yeah.
Hey, look, another brothel. That's what pink means.
No. Brothels are circles.
Brothels are friends,
I
not
didn't know
food.
this was a brothel.
You really would probably go back to the dragon. Excuse me, because that's where she left. Blackhand and Casper.
Sure. So it's about 11:30 now. The barman, Blackhand's still got 2 beers to go, I should imagine, in half an hour. And the other 4 men are quite happy with the drinks and food that they've got, the entertainment that they've got to look at. Would you like to do anything else in the bar before you return to the 3 Crowns? I will take
No.
that as a no. So you all leave at kicking out time. You return to the 3 Crowns, to where kicking out time has happened there as well. It's about quarter to 12 now. As you make your way in, you're all staying here, so you're able to enter. You might see someone from the other group still up, but it's quite possible that they are asleep. I will leave it up to them. So who would have waited up for the rest of the group to return, and who would have gone ass on it? They're big boys and girls.
Carla would probably just go to sleep.
Sure.
Which
Carl wouldn't have gone to sleep because he has things he needs to do in his room.
Sure.
So
So
he'd
you're
probably still be up, but not waiting up for them. That makes sense.
sure.
Lydia would head off to study.
So as the rest of the group returns, there's no one from your group downstairs. You imagine it's quite late, that perhaps they're asleep in bed. So let's say for now, after your exertion of energy in the brothel, chasing down charlatans through the little moot, and then shadowing individuals through Shady Town, you all head off for a good night's sleep. As we finally pass another day. This day has been a very, very long time. I think it's been like 3 episodes.
It's kind of like an episode of the TV show 24. Like 24 hours, but the world blows up, and
24 hours, every hour is an episode.
Sorry, what?
Never saw 24?
Oh, the show, yeah.
very good show.
Yeah,
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
it's good.
Anyway, that was a sidetrack.
I figured. Unless Jack Bauer somehow made it into fantasy.
Wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, he did come back from the dead, so anything's possible.
I wish I had kept that open. Never mind. So, another day, another night passes, and day arises. You all get 1 fortune point back, and one by one, you all make your way downstairs to enjoy your breakfast and to discuss the night's happenings.
Rella will mention to Casper that if she's able to find this guy again, she's probably gonna, kidnap him, take him into a dark alleyway corner. And even if he does not admit after she tortures him, she's probably gonna shoot him dead.
Can you invite
But
me
she's telling
along?
this only to Casper because she feels like she can confide into Casper.
Casper is going to laugh heartily and simply state that you may do whatever you wish to your boy toy.
She's just gonna smile.
The thing is, did you actually find out where they went?
I did. He went into the shanty town. A rundown building. There were a few gang members outside, so I couldn't keep pursuing him. But if we go back there in force and they do try to stop us, we could technically burn down the building. They are just gangsters.
A little bit of more subtlety, maybe.
Okay, even if we go there at night, it was, I don't know, midnight, there were still gangsters outside keeping watch.
Yeah, I figured as much.
It is a shanty town. Probably causing a fire that would be bad.
I think to get if you can kill them again, the next few that would need to approach would be less conspicuous message. As in the three that didn't partake in the small marathon, not marathon, but the cross country jog. Actually, not Blackhand. We can't risk him pulling an axe on everyone again.
That is indeed true.
Also, yourself, stop drawing pistols on everyone on the street.
Thing
Maybe
is,
you
it
just
was either
don't
that or
go
it was
to the
either
broth. Oops, sorry.
was either drawing the pistol and making him stop, or we would still keep chasing him for a long ass time. And I didn't expect him to be able to sway the crowd that much.
Nor did I.
You do have to realize, Casper, I'm more used to hunting and killing people in the forests.
Well, in the city, grappling with people is a bit more.
And
I wouldn't say professional, but a bit more. How's the word? Not encouraged.
And technically, Casper, if you had succeeded in tackling him and you had just punched him,
Oh no, I
lights
was
out.
going to tackle him again. My mistake was to shout out ahead of time.
Oh. But oh well, I'll have another chance. At least that's what my gut tells me.
I'll give you a little hint. He was sorted as soon as you agreed to go to the guards. As soon as you agreed to go to the guards, it was like, I have you. All I have to do is just not do anything too suspicious.
Oh, I know. We had lost him there, but I guess if it really was alone, she would probably just have tossed 10 gold crowns to the crowd, dragged him into an alleyway, and she would just shoot him.
He was actually going to do that when he said for Casper to bring out his coin purse, but then Blackhand was like, "Oh, I'm stood close watching him with my weapon." It's like, he didn't really have enough time to like kick the coin purse out of his hand to spread the coins everywhere because there was a fight. It would have been perfect, but.
I mean, I'm really sure she'll find him again, even if she has to kill a shit ton of gangsters to find him.
You know what he looks like. I'll give you. You could spot him in a crowd as long as you see his face.
Well, where did you say he was situated?
He's near a place called the Blind Alley,
Okay.
near the shanty town.
Well,
Technically not all that far from here.
would you like to accompany me to the butcher shop?
Sure. Out of character, what time is it?
About 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Uriel is going to. Perhaps we should go to the butcher later. However, the problem with the rats is technically timed.
But you see, the butcher's I went to the previous day is along the route of both the Blind Alley and the what was it called? What's the pub called again? The PB?
The Pickled Beet.
Pickled Beet.
Well then, by all means, lead the way.
I was supposed to be going that way anyway. I might as well tag along.
Yeah. We may as well bring the group.
So sure, you go downstairs in the morning, and you order your breakfasts, which are paid for. Everyone kind of gathers and has their breakfast. You discuss the evening's event, and you bring up about the quest, the fact that it's all along the blind alley, and that Casper needs to go to the butcher's shop, or maybe you leave that bit off. Either way, the whole group is informed if you all want to go and do that, or if you wish to do separate things, you may as well.
I would follow the rats.
Yeah, I'd go with the group. I can't really go halfway across town and get back in time, so I'll follow the group.
Rats it
I'll
is then, I
sacrifice them.
suppose.
Livia, will you be joining the group for this? I mean, it's
Yeah.
9 in the morning. It's about 9 in the morning now when you've had your breakfast and you've done everything that you need to do. It's gonna take you half an hour to go round, an hour to get back, journey wise. So you could still do this quest and have enough time to do other stuff with your day. Josina, how are you doing for time?
I can go for like 20 more minutes.
Cool. So you all have your breakfast and your morning drink, whatever it may be, and you gather up what supplies you may need. You make your way, Livia leading, Aurelia leading the way. Yep, that's right. And as you come up to the turning for Blind Alley, you go through a couple of little back streets, and in the daylight it looks completely different. However, you do notice that there are people sleeping in really crappy little awnings. This is just a couple of planks of wood hammered on to the side of a shanty shack, and you can see individuals sleeping down that alley. So it seems as if people are on guard. You can see the house in its 3 stories leaning to one side. Would you just point it out, or would you and then move on?
I think Irella would point it out, see if the group wants to go there. If not, she's just gonna keep moving.
Okay, so the whole group knows where the charlatan disappeared into, which building. You all know how to get here now. Before you move on, Casper, you see the butcher shop that you used before. I'll leave it up to your discretion if you go in now or after.
Yeah, I'll tell them to carry on. I'll just be out in the moment.
Okay, so you go off to the butcher shop and you point out that the pickled beet is just up there and to this corner. I'll catch you up in a moment. And you make your way. As you go in there, it's the same setup as it was last time. The young lad behind the shop counter greets you and asks what he can get you today and if the livers were acceptable.
The livers were excellent. Thank you. I'm just curious, do you have any more as of today, or would you be getting any later on?
He tells you that the hunters have been in this morning. So all the prey has been brought in, or all the goods have been brought in. He says that it was another good day, and that they have 4 livers in total. 2 are of stags, and 2 are actually of boar.
Okay. I will take the 4. Just at the moment, I have pending business, but if you could keep them aside for the moment.
Sure. He puts all of them aside.
Just go off to one side, and I'll come back and I'll collect them later. I'll pay for them now.
Okay. I believe that's a silver each.
Okay. I would also request do not do any prep. I prefer to do that myself.
Okay. He puts them recloses the ice bucket and puts it to one side, and tells you that they should keep perfectly fresh for at least until midday. After midday, they might start to spoil ever so slightly, but they should be perfectly fine.
Very good. Thank you very much. And I'll make my way into the pickled beet.
Sure. So as the rest of the group makes their way into the pickled beet, it's a rundown hovel of an establishment. Its sign outside is weathered, rotten, and crooked. You're not quite sure how it still remains swinging on one hatch, but somehow it does. As you enter, the door itself, rickety, is probably not the word for it. Ramshambled is closer. You genuinely feel as if you might push the door off its hinges before you realise that the door is actually locked. You knock on the door, and with every knock you think, oh crap, am I going to push it through? And an individual from inside can be heard. Aye, keep it down, I'm coming. Don't go breaking my bloody door now. You'll have to pay for it, as the latch opens and the door swings open. What can I do for you? He looks at the group.
You're here about the rats job?
Oh, all right, okay. Yeah, they're pretty lively in the morning, so should be a decent number for you to get rid of. By all means, come on in. I only pay 2 copper per tail, but there's another deal with the watch. He kind of looks at you as if you don't already know, and well, they'll pay you more for each tail on top of that. And yeah, just let me know how it went down there, and if you want to take the meat, that's fine. I won't have a problem with that. If you want to leave the meat, however, I'll give you a silver coin for each rat.
Go frantically looking in the armory.
I mean, that's a lot of gates to cross, You can cross all the gates for a silver. You can cross a lot of gates for a silver.
Well, one leg across the gates or silver.
Well, I don't have much of an appetite for rat meat.
Well, part of the silver is that you keep your mouths shut about that. I'll go slowly with your group. I can see. Hungover, perhaps? Kind of looks at you all.
They mostly are,
A bit
yes.
tired.
But anyway, come on in. I'll point you to where you need to go. Casper, you've joined up with the group at this point.
Hello.
Oh, another one. Okay, right. Yeah. Right. So it's just down in the kitchen area. They're most lively at this time, so there should be a decent number down there. If you could just kill them, drive them off, do whatever you need to. If any of you happen to die, I get your stuff, basically.
Die?
Ren is going to look at him. No, you won't.
But your group's quite big, but the last guy came in with himself and a
man.
dog, so, you know.
Good man. What kinds of rats are they that they would kill us?
Nolan's finest, I should imagine.
Excuse me, sir, but if the rats killed us, what chance do you think you have of coming in to get our stuff with the rats on top of us?
Oh, they leave. You see, they leave after about 12 o'clock, to be honest. About the time that I normally start serving, and the noise starts kicking in. I guess they get tired, perhaps. I'm not entirely sure. But there's shits everywhere, so I need to clean it up afterwards. And I'd rather you just kill them, and you know, if you want to take the
What
silver.
would the equivalent be of scrutiny?
Perception. What, you want to see if he's lying? Yeah, it's perception.
I definitely am perceptioning that.
Well, you guys must have heard about the guy and his dog that died, you know.
Oh!
There's 100.
Neville is really not with us.
There's 100.
Ragnar, he's definitely telling the truth, but Carla and Blackhand, you're not really sure. He might be lying. He might know something that he's not telling you. But Ragnar, you're pretty sure he's telling the truth. Well, you know, and it's just how it is. Sometimes someone gets ballsy and, you know, forgets that a lot of rats have a lot of teeth.
Carl's probably looking at that guy like he's not only lying, but he also fought it in the room.
And why don't you alert the guard?
Just what exactly size are those rats?
Well, you know,
No,
like,
I
he
don't.
like gestures with his hand to, like, you know, a big black sewer rat size. Nothing unhuman, like, you know, nothing unreal. You know, he's like, oh, you know, this big rat size. I mean, okay, so some of the people who went in there, the rat catchers before, claimed that there was some monster huge rat, but that's nonsense. Loads of rat catchers have come and gone around here to go in and get their tails. It's just sometimes they get ballsy, and you know, they get bitten, and I guess they get sick and die, and perhaps the rats just pull them down into the sewer. I don't know.
Wait. Are you saying that people claim that there was like a giant rat, like a king of rats?
It's nonsense. You know, they always fail.
It is, but like how desperate do you have to be to invent a tale about some sort of rat king?
Well, you need to remember, these poor fools have just come running and screaming out of my tavern, screaming about getting killed or getting hurt or losing a dog to rats. I mean, how embarrassing can it be, really? I mean, I understand why they'd lie about it, but honestly, they're just big rats, and I just can't be bothered to kill them. You know, I used to do it myself, but I make decent money. Why should I have to risk getting bitten? And, you know, don't get me wrong, if you get bitten, you might get sick. It happens, but people get sick from
some of the stuff
water.
off people who died is much easier.
I think we should
That
leave
was out of
the
character.
I think we should leave the semantics to scholars and just.
The people who died down there, they were properly buried, right?
Well, the ones that were still there, yeah. Well,
Come,
you know, there's
Carla. We've got
blood on the
corpses for you
sewer
to bury.
grate. Blood on the sewer grate. They've obviously been pulled down.
That cannot. No, that's not proper.
But I'm not going into the sewers. And I'm not hiring sewer jacks to pull up some numpty whose only possession in the world was a dog that I've now got to clean the remains up of. I inform the sewer jacks. When they ask for payment, I tell them let the family pay. And, or if Moore wants to pay, he can of course pay the sewer jacks to retrieve the poor souls. Why should it be my job? He puts his nose up like, why should it be my job?
Let's just do it quickly. I'd hate to have to wash the stench out of the robes.
Irelia has a completely serious look as she looks at Kala, and she's gonna like, just because these are rats, do not underestimate them. Keep on your toes.
Like, what's gonna
Would a
happen?
Would a proud hunter really be like, keep on your toes? They're just.
I mean,
know,
what's the worst that's gonna happen? I'm gonna get bitten in the head. Flashback to a different lifetime where the character is running and screaming after being bitten in the head by a rat.
Thing is, Irelia is dead serious because she's a hunter in Athelloren. She has seen beastmen that look like rats. So she's like, yeah, they've seen their massive
in Athelloren,
rats.
you may have seen giant rats. I'll give you that, but you never would have seen a Skaven. They've never been able to enter.
True. The thing is, she doesn't even have to be Skaven. She's dead serious because some of these claims may actually be true.
So you all gather at the door. You prepare yourselves as the guy kind of says, I'll shut the door after you. Make sure your screams don't get outside. He gives you a wink. You all move into the room as he opens the door and then shuts it behind you. We move over to the map.
Des?
Yes.
I remember this map.
I'm having a PTSD, Des.
Good.
Is this the reason why the guy called the rat joined the group? Was he a Skaven?
No. It was just a weird happenstance.
Right.
This is a map upon which my first character was critically hit in the head by an unkillable rat.
Oh. Well then.
I still remember you had to find a fate point just to not lose your hand and die.
That rat literally defied dice rolls. Like, he could not get hit.
That is not true. It was fine.
You're not the one who had to burn fate.
For a start, the wall that you can see my ruler walk going down now is solid. It goes up to the ceiling. You cannot see past this wall. You can only see around the corner once you're down here.
Okay.
Please click on all of your tokens and roll your initiative.
Oh lord, this is gonna go
I
well.
will open the initiative timer tracker. All in time, you're all being added to it.
Out of character, who else thinks the tavern bosses in codes with the Skaven?
As the door
What?
slams shut, our party enter into the kitchen / storeroom. There's a moment where their rattling equipment stops, their breathing calms, and they just hear the scuttling of rats. And that is where we end our episode.
That's a lot of rat.
Plot twist, the owner is this Skaven in a trench coat.
That's just what I said.
I hope you all enjoyed this episode and are looking forward to the next episode where our team of adventurers will go after simple, pathetic rats. Well,
We all
we
remember
will
how that
see.
ended the last time.
Yes.
Hey, I'm not last
we
on the initiative
do.
tracker.
Sod off.
So, take care, everyone, and as always, try to roll good initiative. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Wow, you guys are